Hey there and welcome. Today we're going to dive into the incredible journey of something you probably have within arm's reach right now, a single, humble sheet of paper. You know, its path from a forest to your desk is way more complex and honestly, way more fascinating than you probably imagine. Yup, you guessed it. It's paper. I mean, think about it. This is an invention that totally changed the world, a product of massive industrial engineering and a key player in our modern economy. So let's unfold the story of how it's made. All right, so let's start at the very, very beginning with the simple yet totally revolutionary idea behind paper itself. You know, the amazing thing is that the core idea behind paper is, well, it's beautifully simple. Basically, you take these cellulose fibers from plants, mash them up with water, and as the water drains away, the fibers just naturally bond together. And that's it. That's the fundamental magic behind every single sheet of paper. And believe me, this simple idea was a total game changer. It started in China way back around 105 AD, and from there, the technology just slowly crumped across the globe. It completely transformed societies by making information portable, affordable, and accessible in a way that had never been possible before. Okay, so fast forward to today, and that ancient craft, it has evolved into this massive global industry. And to really get it, our journey has to start in the forest, where a tree is about to become the raw material for the paper we use. So once a tree is harvested and turned into a bunch of little wood chips, the real work starts at the pulp mill. And the whole goal here, really, is to get those super valuable cellulose fibers and just get rid of everything else, especially this one really stubborn component called lignin. Right, so what is lignin? The easiest way to think of it is like the natural glue that gives a tree all its strength and rigidity. And hey, that's awesome for the tree, but for paper, it's terrible. You know how an old newspaper gets all yellow and brittle? Yeah, that's lignin. The key to good paper is getting that stuff out. So, how do they do it? Well, there are basically two main ways. Mechanical pulping is pretty much what it sounds like. They just grind everything up. It's cheap, it's fast, but here's the catch: the lignin stays in. Then you have chemical pulping, specifically something called the Kraft process. This is different. They actually cook the chips in a chemical solution that just dissolves that lignin right out, leaving you with these pure, strong cellulose fibers, perfect for things like books and the paper in your office. Okay, but what if you want that super bright white paper? Well, then the pulp gets bleached. Now, the good news is that modern mills have really moved away from the old harsh chemicals. They're now using things like oxygen and hydrogen peroxide. So next time you're shopping, if you see ECF, that's elemental chlorine-free, or TCF for totally chlorine-free, now you'll know that's a sign of a cleaner, more eco-friendly product. All right, so now we've got our purified pulp. The next huge challenge is how do you turn this wet, soupy mess into a smooth, strong, and perfectly dry sheet of paper? And when I say wet, I am not kidding. The slurry that goes into the paper machine is, get this, a staggering 99% water. Only 1% is actually fiber. So pretty much the entire rest of the process is just this high-speed, incredible feat of engineering designed to get all of that water out. And this all happens on a paper machine. And these things are massive. We're talking hundreds of meters long. First, they spray the slurry onto this giant moving screen, and water just starts draining away, letting the fibers lock together. Then these huge rollers literally press and squeeze out even more water. After that, the now damp sheet kind of snakes its way through a whole maze of hot cylinders to dry completely, before a final set of rollers gives it that smooth finish. And, you know, this finishing stage is also where we get all the different types of paper we use every day. For instance, they'll add a coating of clay to make those smooth, glossy pages you find in a magazine. Or they'll add a starch coating to office paper, and that's what stops your pen ink from bleeding all over the place. Okay, but the paper's life doesn't just end once you've printed on it or read it. Actually, you could argue one of its most important phases is what happens next. And that, of course, is recycling. And the benefits of recycling? They're just enormous. It's not just about saving trees, right? It keeps all that paper out of landfills where it would break down and release methane, which is a really potent greenhouse gas. Plus, and this is huge, it dramatically cuts the energy needed to make new paper, sometimes by up to 60%. So it's a massive part of making the whole industry more sustainable. But here's the thing, recycling isn't some perfect, infinite loop. See, every single time paper goes through the recycling process, those little cellulose fibers get shorter and weaker. And that's why they constantly have to add new, strong fibers from responsibly managed forests into the mix. It's all about keeping the quality up for stuff like cardboard and the paper in your printer. So, where does paper go from here? Is it just old tech? Well, in a world that's so focused on sustainability, paper is actually having a major moment. It's not old technology at all. It's being completely reinvented for the future. And the future of paper, wow, it is incredibly exciting. I mean, researchers are coming up with these amazing new materials from wood fiber, like nanocellulose, which is ultra strong and super lightweight. We're talking about flexible electronics printed right onto a sheet of paper. And of course, we're seeing this massive push for paper-based packaging to finally replace plastics. I'm talking about everything from those molded containers for your takeout to, get this, entire paper bottles. It really makes you stop and think, doesn't it? Paper is renewable. It's recyclable, it's biodegradable, and it all comes from the most abundant organic material on planet Earth. So, as we're all searching for new ways to build a greener, more sustainable world, maybe, just maybe, this ancient technology is about to become one of the most important materials of our future.